Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Valsa Williams and with me is Renu Kataria with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says every citizen should have ease of access to government schemes to fulfill dreams of New India, inaugurates Vanijya Bhavan in New Delhi and launches Niryat portal. All development projects to be completed in the stipulated time period, asserts Mr. Modi. 14th edition of BRICS Summit begins today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend virtually. Home Minister Amit Shah calls for adopting modern banking system in cooperative banks. Political crisis deepens in Maharashtra. Rebel Shiv Sena leader Eknath Shinde claims more MLAs will join his team. Voting underway for by-elections to 3 Lok Sabha and 7 Assembly seats. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says his government will hold donor conference with India, Japan and China to tackle the financial crisis. And in the Ranji Trophy final, Mumbai were all out for 374 runs in their first innings against Madhya Pradesh at Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today emphasized that to fulfill the dreams of New India, it is important that every citizen should have ease of access to every government scheme. Inaugurating the new premises of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Vanijya Bhavan in New Delhi, Mr. Modi said the bridge between ease of living and ease of doing business is ease of access. He said benefits of government schemes should reach everyone with ease of access, and this is the only path to Sabka Vikas.
कि नए वाणिज्य भवन में आप एक नई प्रेरणा, एक नए संकल्प के साथ प्रवेश कर रहे हैं। ये संकल्प ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस का है और ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस के माध्यम से ईज ऑफ लिविंग का है, और इस दोनों के बीच की जो कड़ी है वो है ईज ऑफ एक्सेस। सरकार के साथ संवाद और सरकार की सुविधाओं के लिए एक्सेस में किसी को भी असुविधा न हो, ऐसा ईज ऑफ एक्सेस देश की प्राथमिकता है। देश के नागरिकों को बेसिक सुविधाओं का एक्सेस हो, बैंकिंग में एक्सेस हो, सरकारी नीति निर्माण में एक्सेस हो, ये बीते 8 वर्षों के गवर्नेंस मॉडल का सबसे महत्वपूर्ण पक्ष रहा है।
The Prime Minister said to respect every taxpayer, the government is ensuring timely culmination of developmental and infrastructural projects. He said PM Gati Shakti is a tech-led initiative that is now helping us in real-time monitoring of infrastructure projects, thus adding pace to the development of the country.
सरकार के प्रोजेक्ट्स बरसों तक लटके नहीं, समय पर पूरे हों, सरकार की योजनाएं अपने लक्ष्यों तक पहुंचे, तभी देश के टैक्सपेयर का सम्मान है। और अब तो पीएम गति शक्ति नेशनल मास्टर प्लान के रूप में हमारे पास एक आधुनिक प्लेटफॉर्म भी है।
Mr. Modi said today India is ranked 46th in the Global Innovation Index and is continuously improving. He said despite every challenge like the collapse of the global supply chain, India exported goods worth 50 lakh crore rupees. The Prime Minister said New India's new SOP is that all development projects will now be completed in a stipulated time period.
एक टर्म बड़ा प्रचलित है, एसओपी यानी स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीड्यूर्स, यानी काम करने का एक तय तरीका। पहले सरकारों का एसओपी समझा जाता था कि सरकार कोई प्रोजेक्ट शुरू करती थी, लेकिन वो तैयार कब होगा इसकी कोई गारंटी नहीं होती थी। राजनीति स्वार्थ के लिए घोषणाएं कर दी जाती थी, वो पूरी कब और कैसे होगी इसको लेकर गंभीरता नहीं होती थी। इस धारणा को हमने कैसे बदला है उसका भी ये भवन एक उदाहरण है।
Mr. Modi also launched National Import-Export Record for Yearly Analysis of Trade, Niryat portal. The Prime Minister said the new Vanijya Bhavan and Niryat portal represent the aspirations of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Mr. Modi said the new Vanijya Bhavan will create new aspirations that will be supported by ease of doing business, which will lead to ease of living. Our correspondent reports the new portal Niryat has been developed as a one-stop platform for stakeholders to get all necessary information related to India's foreign trade. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal said this is a digital building and it will not have the typical pile of papers. He said the building is an example of whole-of-government approach. Constructed near India Gate, the Vanijya Bhavan is designed as a smart building. It incorporates the principles of sustainable architecture with a special focus on energy saving. It will serve as an integrated and modern office complex. Vanijya Bhavan will be used by the two departments under the ministry, the Department of Commerce and the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will today attend the 14th BRICS summit hosted by China. The summit will be held in virtual format under the theme of Foster High-Quality BRICS Partnership, Usher in a New Era for Global Development. Chinese President Xi Jinping will also chair a high-level dialogue on global development with guest countries on the 24th of June, which will be attended by the BRICS leaders and leaders of relevant emerging markets and developing countries. BRICS has become a platform for discussing and deliberating on issues of common concern for all developing countries. BRICS countries have regularly called for reform of the multilateral system in order to make it more representative and inclusive. Prior to the summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also delivered a keynote speech virtually in the opening ceremony of the BRICS Business Forum yesterday. Ahead of the virtual summit, India's ambassador to China, Pradeep Kumar Rawat, met Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi in Beijing, in which both discussed issues of mutual interest, including the border issue and return of Indians to China. A report from our correspondent.
14th BRICS Summit this year assumes importance as this will be the first BRICS Summit amid geopolitical tectonic shifts taking place due to Russia-Ukraine war and Russia, one of the BRICS members, coming under severe economic sanctions by the US, which has affected the BRICS countries. During the 14th BRICS Summit, deliberations are expected to be held in areas like terrorism, trade, health, traditional medicine, environment, science and technology, innovation, agriculture, and micro, small and medium enterprises. Discussions are also likely to be held on issues like reform of the multilateral system, combating COVID-19 pandemic, and global economic recovery. India is the second largest and the fastest growing economy in BRICS, but it is still entangled in a protracted border standoff with China. India's ambassadors meeting with Chinese Foreign Minister therefore assumes importance as BRICS countries are trying to navigate through changing global security and economic scenario. BRICS New Development Bank has already added 4 new members, and Russia and China have expressed their desire to expand the BRICS membership. Anshuman Mishra, AIR News, Beijing.
NDA's presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu today arrived in New Delhi ahead of the filing of her nomination. She will file her nomination tomorrow. Ms. Murmu was received by the BJP leaders at the airport on her arrival. Opposition candidate Yashwant Sinha will file his nomination on 27th of this month. Home and Cooperation Minister Amit Shah today said that the urban cooperative banks need to focus on symmetric development and adopt modern banking methods. He emphasized on transparency and inclusion of young professionals in the cooperative banks. Mr. Shah said this while addressing the national conclave of scheduled and multi-state urban cooperative banks and credit societies on future role of urban cooperative credit sector in New Delhi. The minister said the cooperative should do self-reflection and reform to improve their functioning as per the changing times. Saying that cooperative is the only way for inclusive development in the country, Mr. Shah asserted the government is committed to address the issue of cooperative in the country.
आज शहरी कोऑपरेटिव क्रेडिट क्षेत्र की भविष्य की भूमिका पर सेमिनार हो रहा है। बहुत सारे टेक्निकल सेशन भी है। इसमें शहरी सहकारी बैंकों के भविष्य की भूमिका, आरबीआई के एक्सपर्ट कमेटी की रिपोर्ट की सिफारिशें, बैंकिंग बीआर एक्ट अमेंडमेंट 2020 पर चर्चा, मल्टी स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी के बारे में भी चर्चा होगी। मैं चाहूंगा कि ये चर्चा में दोनों पहलू हो, हम आत्मनिरीक्षण भी करें और टैक्सेशन के बारे में भी चर्चा होगी। शेड्यूल बैंक, मल्टी स्टेट कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स और बड़े अर्बन कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स, इनकी भूमिका देश के विकास में बहुत बड़ी है।
Mr. Shah said the centre is in the process of establishing cooperative university and cooperative data bank.
In Maharashtra, the political crisis continues as more Shiv Sena legislators have joined the party's rebel leader Eknath Shinde in Guwahati amidst claims and counterclaims. It is learned that 5 more MLAs reached Guwahati today. Yesterday, 40 Shiv Sena legislators, as claimed by Mr. Shinde, reached Guwahati from Surat. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Deepak Kesarkar, MLA from Savantwadi, Mangesh Kudalkar, Chembur and Sada Savankar took a morning flight from Mumbai to Guwahati, a close associate of Eknath Shinde. He has support of more than 40 MLAs. Meanwhile, Shiv Sena rebel leader Sanjay Sirsat wrote letter on behalf of all MLAs to CM Uddhav Thackeray, stated that it is very embarrassing that we are unable to meet Chief Minister directly. Doors of Varsha Bungalow was closed for last 2.5 years. Extremely abusive treatment to MLAs. Sirsat explained in the letter. NCP leader Jayant Patil said that we are giving full support to CM Uddhav Thackeray. Shiv Sena group leader Shri Chaudhary accepted Sanjay Sirsat's letter and told that action will be taken on this. Bhavna Gokhale, AIR News, Mumbai.
Assam BJP leader and State Minister Ashok Singhal today visited the hotel in Guwahati where the Shiv Sena rebel MLAs are staying. The Eknath Shinde camp has claimed that more MLAs will join them. Mr. Shinde is holding meetings with his fellow legislators on the future course of action. Meanwhile, members of the Assam unit of Trinamool Congress held a protest outside the hotel where the Shiv Sena MLAs are staying. On the other hand, NCP, a key constituent of the Mahavikas Aghadi government, has called a meeting of its MLAs today. Talking to media persons, NCP leader Jayant Patil said the MLAs would be briefed on the current developments at the meeting to be held at YB Sawan Centre in Mumbai at 5 p.m. Last evening, Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray had offered to resign. He said he could make way for another Shiv Sena leader to become the Chief Minister. Later, Mr. Thackeray vacated Varsha, the official residence of the Chief Minister, and returned to Matoshri, his family residence. Voting is underway for by-polls to 3 Lok Sabha and 7 Assembly seats. These seats are spread over Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Tripura, Andhra Pradesh, Jharkhand and Delhi. By-polls for the Sangrur Lok Sabha seat in Punjab was necessitated following the resignation of Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann after winning the Assembly election from Dhuri constituency earlier this year. Voting is taking place for 2 Lok Sabha seats in Uttar Pradesh, while the Rampur seat fell vacant after Azam Khan won the elections from the Rampur Assembly seat. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav won the Karhal Assembly seat, leaving the Azamgarh seat vacant. In Delhi, polling for the Rajendra Nagar by-election is underway amid tight security, with total 14 candidates in the fray. In Tripura, voting is taking place for 4 Assembly seats: Borodwali Town, Agartala, Surma and Jubraj Nagar. In Andhra Pradesh, Atmakur Assembly seat was vacated by the sudden demise of YSR Congress MLA Nekapati Gautam Reddy in February this year. In Jharkhand, Mandar Assembly constituency fell vacant after Bandhu Tirke, who had won the seat in 2019, was disqualified following his conviction in a disproportionate assets case. The counting of votes will be taken up on June the 26th.
You're listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says every citizen should have ease of access to government schemes to fulfill dreams of New India. Inaugurates Vanijya Bhavan in New Delhi and launches Niryat Portal. All development projects to be completed in the stipulated time period, asserts Mr. Modi. 14th edition of BRICS Summit begins today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend virtually. Home Minister Amit Shah calls for adopting modern banking system in cooperative banks. Political crisis deepens in Maharashtra. Rebel Shiv Sena leader Eknath Shinde claims more MLAs will join his team. Voting underway for by-elections to 3 Lok Sabha and 7 Assembly seats. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says his government will hold donor conference with India, Japan and China to tackle the financial crisis. And in the Ranji Trophy final, Mumbai are all out for 374 runs in their first innings against Madhya Pradesh at Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी, तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर, या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर, और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back to the Midday News. Indian Space Research Organisation ISRO has successfully launched communication satellite GSAT-24 from Kourou in French Guiana early this morning. GSAT-24, built by ISRO for New Space India Limited NSIL, was launched by French company Ariane Space. GSAT-24 is a 24 Ku band communication satellite weighing 4,180 kilogram with pan-India coverage for meeting DTH application needs. It was the first demand-driven communication satellite mission undertaken by NSIL post-space sector reforms. In flood-hit Assam, rescue and relief operations have been intensified by the district administrations. Official sources in Guwahati said that rescue operation has been carried out extensively in Barak Valley, among other places. Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma undertook aerial survey of flood situation in Barak Valley today. He will also hold meeting with senior officials. Meanwhile, Deputy Commissioner of Kasar District Kirti Jalli said that all efforts are being taken to provide food to flood-hit people. Helicopters have been pressed into service in providing relief materials. Nearly 3,700 persons are shifted to higher places in the last 24 hours. 12 persons lost their lives yesterday, taking the death toll to 83 so far due to floods. Overall, 54 lakh people are affected due to floods in 32 districts. Flood water also damaged standing crops and fisheries. In Uttar Pradesh, 11 people died while 6 others were seriously injured in a road accident in Philippi district. The accident took place in the wee hours today when a jeep carrying devotees from Haridwar collided with a tree near Gajrola on National Highway 730. 6 people lost their lives in another incident in Hamirpur district of the state last evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi expressed grief and sorrow over the incident.
The AIADMK Party General Council meeting was held in Chennai today amid differences between the supporters of its coordinator O. Pannirselvam and coordinator Eddapadi Palaniswamy over the leadership issue. The meeting today ended inconclusive. It has been announced by the Deputy Coordinator K.P. Munusamy that the General Council will again meet on 11th of July with the single-point agenda of resolving the leadership issue. And now let's listen to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
We remember the nationalist leader Sharma Prasad Mukherjee on his death anniversary. Sharma Prasad Mukherjee began his public career as the Vice-Chancellor of Calcutta University in 1934. He was the youngest Vice-Chancellor of Calcutta University. He was the architect of the coalition of the Nationalist Party and the Krishak Praja Party, which ousted the Muslim League from power in 1940 and gave the United Bengal a spell of nationalist government. He became the
However, he resigned in 1942 from the ministry to raise voice against Viceroy Linlithgow, who had let loose a reign of terror in the wake of the Quit India movement. Since all the top Congress leaders had been put in prisons, it fell on Sharma Prasad Mukherjee to act as the spokesman of the nationalist India in those difficult days. His services to the suffering humanity of Bengal in the man-made famine of 1943 brought him on the national stage and endeared him to the whole country.
He was elected as a member of the Constituent Assembly of India in 1946. The then Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru inducted Mukherjee into the interim central government as a Minister for Industry and Supply on the 15th of August 1947. Sharma Prasad Mukherjee resigned along with K.C. Niyogi from the cabinet on the 8th of April 1950 over a disagreement with the government. Later, he founded the Bharatiya Janasangh on the 21st of October 1951 in Delhi, becoming its first president.
In 1953, Shyama Prasad Mukherjee went to visit Kashmir and observed a hunger strike to protest the law that prohibited Indian citizens from settling within the state. But because of the prevailing permit system, he was not given permission. He was arrested on 11th of May at Lakhanpur while crossing the border into Kashmir. He was not in good health. He fell seriously ill in prison and died a martyr's death to the cause of Indian unity on 23rd of June 1953. In the Lok Sabha, mourning the unexpected demise of Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee, the then Speaker, G.V. Mavalankar observed,
"His ability, sincerity, the masterly manner of handling his subject, his eloquence and above all his patriotism and love for his countrymen entitled him to our respect."
AIR News salutes the brave son of the soil. We remember martyr Jhumman Lal, who was a resident of Manpuri, Uttar Pradesh. He was a Jamadar with the contingent guards of the Agra Central Prison. During the First War of Independence of 1857, he escaped with his arms on 23rd of June 1857 to join hands with the rebel forces. He moved towards Delhi with other rebels to fight against the British there. The brave son of the soil, Jhumman Lal, was killed in 1857 in an encounter with the British Army. AIR News salutes the brave son of the soil.
We also remember freedom fighter Phula Singh. Phula Singh was serving the English East India Company army but left his service during the First War of Independence of 1857 and fought against the British. He also motivated his fellow sepoys to turn their arms on the British officials and overthrow the oppressive foreign rule. Phula Singh was captured in an encounter with the company troops and charged with desertion and mutiny against the British authorities. He was sentenced to the transportation for life with hard labour in irons and was sent to the Andaman Islands. Phula Singh died there in detention on the 23rd of June 1859. AIR News salutes the brave son of the soil.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today paid tributes to devout nationalist, eminent statesman and educationist Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee on his death anniversary. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu said Dr. Mukherjee devoted his life towards strengthening the unity and integrity of the nation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said every Indian is indebted to Dr. Mukherjee for his unparalleled efforts towards furthering India's unity. In a tweet, he said Dr. Mukherjee worked hard for India's progress and dreamt of a strong and prosperous nation. Paying tributes, Union Home Minister Amit Shah said Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee's life was a wonderful amalgamation of new ideas of national unity, cultural dedication, education and development. The News Services Division of All India Radio will bring an exclusive interview with Executive Director of International Monetary Fund, Dr. Surjit Bhalla, at 9:30 tonight. In his interview with AIR News, Dr. Surjit Bhalla, former member of the Prime Minister's Economic Advisory Council, shared his perspective on what is behind the extraordinary political success of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, wherein he has been the head of a government for 20 years running, first as the Chief Minister of Gujarat for 3 successive terms and for the last 8 years as the Prime Minister of India. In Modi at 20, Dreams Meet Delivery, a compilation of chapters authored by eminent intellectuals and domain experts, Dr. Bhalla has focused on the inclusive nature of the Modi government in his chapter, Success of People-Centric Policies.
The first and the most important point is that PM Modi, as well as Chief Minister Modi, was directly concerned with the welfare of the poor or the bottom 50, 60, 70%. So the poor is a very broad, it's not the absolute poor, but it is those who belong to the lower strata of society. Now, he is the first leader in independent India to concentrate on this share of the population. Here we are concentrating on delivering to the poor, and the poor are not getting the money.
Justice Amjad Ehtisham Saeed took oath as the 27th Chief Justice of Himachal Pradesh High Court today. Governor Rajendra administered him the oath of office and secrecy at Raj Bhavan in Shimla. Chief Minister Jairam Thakur was present on this occasion along with some state cabinet ministers. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has told lawmakers that the country's debt-laden economy has completely collapsed after months of shortages of food, fuel and electricity. He told the parliament yesterday that the nation faces a far more serious situation. Mr. Wickremesinghe said Sri Lanka is unable to purchase imported fuel due to heavy debt owed by its petroleum corporation. The Prime Minister also told Parliament that government will hold a donor conference with China, India and Japan as the nation seeks overseas assistance to overcome the worst economic crisis since its independence.
In the Ranji Trophy final, Mumbai finished their first innings at 374 against Madhya Pradesh at M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. Sarfaraz Khan top scored with 134 runs. Yashasvi Jaiswal made 78 runs. For Madhya Pradesh, Gaurav Yadav took 4 wickets while Anubhav Agarwal bagged 3. Madhya Pradesh were 23 for no loss when reports last came in.
The Sensex and the Nifty today gained more than 0.5% in the afternoon trade. The two key domestic share indices appreciated amid mixed global cues. The Sensex was trading above the 52,000 mark. The Nifty was above the 15,500 level. The Sensex at Bombay Stock Exchange climbed 308 points or 0.59% to trade at 52,130. The Nifty at National Stock Exchange was trading 101 points or 0.65% up to trade at 15,514 when reports last came in.
In Jammu and Kashmir, the Chamlial Mela at the Indo-Pak International Border in Ramgarh Tehsil of Samba district is being held today with full fervour and gaiety. Over 2 lakh devotees drawn from different parts of J&K, Punjab, Himachal and Haryana are expected to visit the holy shrine. Meanwhile, the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway remained closed for the 3rd consecutive day today, even as over 600 Kashmir-bound stranded vehicles were cleared after road clearance operations and improvement of weather conditions.
And now let us have a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will have a partly cloudy sky. Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Srinagar and Jammu will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 10 and maximum will be around 22 degrees Celsius. In Jammu, maximum will be around 30 degrees Celsius. Leh will have partly cloudy sky. Gilgit will have partly cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was 16 and the maximum will be around 32 degrees Celsius. Guwahati and Imphal will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or thunder showers.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says every citizen should have ease of access to government schemes to fulfill dreams of New India. Inaugurates Varnijya Bhavan in New Delhi and launches Niryat portal. All development projects to be completed in the stipulated time period, asserts Mr. Modi. 14th edition of BRICS Summit begins today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to attend virtually. Home Minister Amit Shah calls for adopting modern banking system in cooperative banks. Political crisis deepens in Maharashtra. Rebel Shiv Sena leader Eknath Shinde claims more MLAs will join his team. Voting underway for by-elections to 3 Lok Sabha and 7 Assembly seats. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe says his government will hold donor conference with India, Japan and China to tackle the financial crisis. And in the Ranji Trophy final, Mumbai were all out for 374 runs in their first innings against Madhya Pradesh at Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru. And with that, we end the midday news.